You know, it was a bit encouraging today that I have been feeling a bit under the weather, and I got back to my hotel room and was like, this would be a perfect day to just watch some tutorials and kind of phone it in a little bit. And then I thought, no, I'd literally rather sit and write music. I think part of that is like this weird sense of urgency I've been feeling over the last few months that like when I sit and watch tutorials, there's this part of my brain that screams, why are we watching someone else make music when we could just be making music? We could just, we really, I'm so eager to have a library of songs I'm proud of that I've finished writing. And if I don't sit and write, that will never happen. And I really want to be better and faster than I am. And watching tutorials will make me a little bit better, but will not make me any faster. And so I've generally been proud of myself that I've been defaulting to no, sit and write music rather than learn and be afraid to like touch things, be afraid to touch the knobs. So I'm enjoying where this is out. I worked on Japanese house today, fitting in a few of the things that I've been talking about, wanting to change. Biggest one is the beginning here. Well, kind of two big ones. One that's not great and that I need to come back to, but the one that's good. The beginning here before we get to the first vocal, where we're still just kind of like adding textures. It had been feeling a bit sparse. Previously, it just sounded like this. And once that filter has kind of swiped up through that one synth, you kind of don't have anything else changing as we play through another 8 bars of that. And so I've been wanting to add something there. And so I added in this sound today. And now it sounds like this. And that felt like exactly the right amount of just like a little bit of detail, a little bit of movement, so your ear's not just like I'm hearing the exact same thing over and over again. Obviously, we did have that one bar that we had previously put in reverse right here, which definitely has a cool effect, and I could do maybe more of that, but I do like that sound as like an ostinato that's like consistent, that everything else kind of changes around. So this was a good little change. All we did here was take this sound from over here. This is a sample from the original Boyhood track, a sample I could listen to for hours, and we took it over here and we just put a bunch of interesting little automation on top of it. So if I solo this track and then unmute this for a moment here, you can kind of hear what it sounds like. And it's fun to watch the little EQ there move around. I just knew I wanted it to kind of like, I knew I wanted it to fade in from a very high point in the filter, but I didn't want it to like be the full sound, so I need the high pass to also sweep down. While this looks very satisfying to look at, these little like W's I've drawn in here, they were very functional. It was just a happenstance of the sound I wanted it to go for. I wanted this kind of like band pass to sweep through, and this is what a band pass would look like if you were to draw it in like that. And then I bounced that to over here, and I put a echo on it with a Valhalla Supermassive here, just kind of like default configuration, but with it turned to 1/8 notes instead of 300 milliseconds. And then I EQ'd just the top to at first be down low. So as this is kind of going here, you hear it just very muffled. Very subtle effect that then opens up. And I had that after the echo too, just to like make sure that's effects staying consistent there. And then just having it also just gain increase, so that effect becomes more prominent. I'm really okay with it not being present here at the beginning, because this sound is so new. The this has just started happening, and so especially as it's swelling up there, we don't need any of the sound there. But I do like it. Just it is ever so slightly in the background there at the beginning. Just a tiny little hint of it there, which is you know, for anyone who's just paying a lot of attention, it'll make this more satisfying to, like, you're kind of hears it coming just a little bit. Maybe even subliminally, most people will actually pick up on that. But yeah, I was really happy with how that turned out. Don't need that to be any different. The other thing I tried, that I spent a lot of time on today, was the vocal chops in this final drop. I really liked having this contrast of the little solo up here, the going up against the vocal chops down here. And there's these little pockets that we carved out of this solo to give us the ability to have some of the vocal chops pop up a little bit stronger. And I've been wanting to have the vocal chops be at a quicker tempo than the little synth melody. So the synth melody is going bum 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 bum. I want my vocal chops to be like bada 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 instead of bum 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 bum, which is what they had been doing. So I gave it a shot. I gave a shot at that. The first one I left okay. I left like every other vocal chop I changed. So it sounds like this. Here's the first vocal chop. And then here's the second. I tried a slightly different chop the second time around. And it's cool. And all I did was just take the original sound that was there and chop it into like eighth notes and then rearrange them. And then I also made a second channel where I have a tremolo on it. So the beginning of it is just rearranged notes, and then the second half is tremoloed notes. So these are just rearranged here, and the second half is tremoloed. It's cool, and in isolation there, I think it actually works pretty well. But in context, it just doesn't sound that good. Especially, I also like having something that like changes up in rhythmic values. Even it just right now, it's still just homogeneous rhythmic values of like daga 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 daga. So having a bit like da 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 or something like that, like a bum ba ba da da, like an actual rhythm that's interesting to listen to might be better. And I think putting it in that sample into a sampler I can then like play around with could be the right answer. So I'll probably try that tomorrow. But after messing around with this a little bit today, I liked it, and then I made other things, and I came back and listened to it again, and I didn't like it. So now I'm just gonna leave it and come back tomorrow. I then took that same sample we had at the beginning of the track, and I put it here at the end of the track, this one that we were just working with. I put it here in the kind of the back half where there was this texture was just a little bit sparse. Coming out of the full drop here, it sounds like this. And then a few other little effects things I moved around, but not interesting enough details I think to put in the video here. Ultimately, really close to being very happy with this. I think once I get this vocal chop thing, which is I think a super interesting part of the piece that I really want to be right, get that done, I think it's done. And yeah, that's all we had time for today. So thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.